taking another break on my daily walk to bring up the conversation about how narcissists hate facial expressions. They hate it. Now, the reason they hate facial expressions is because the narcissist, they spends a whole lot of time reading body language and facial expressions because they use these signals, these cues to know where they stand. Yeah? Because they're never going to ask you any questions. They're just going to use your body language and your facial expressions to know where they stand. Now, they don't dislike facial expressions like sadness or anger. They don't like that. Or they don't dislike facial expressions of jealousy. They don't dislike facial expressions of they dislike facial expressions of happiness, but it gives them a reason to try to suck that happiness out of you. So they feed on the facial expressions of anger and sadness or happiness or confusion. They feed on that. The facial expressions that the narcissist hates, the number one thing that narcissist hates is the facial expression of, I see you. Like, you might raise an eyebrow, like, what? Or you might be like, what is, like, oh, I see you. You know what I mean? You might raise an eyebrow, or you might give them the side eye, like, excuse me? Or you might raise the corner of your mouth or something, like, in disbelief, like, you know what I mean? And so they can tell when you've seen them. But the next time you're in a conversation with a narcissist, right? Raise your eyebrow. Kind of give them that look like, are you serious? Like, but raise your eyebrow like out of disbelief, or raise your eyebrow out of just being kind of let's see here, like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And so if you give them the energy of sadness or happiness or anger or confusion, they'll feed on that. But if you give them a facial expression in any way, like you see them, they get real nervous. Yeah. So try it. Next time you're in a conversation with a narcissist and they're gaslighting you, just raise your eyebrow. Kind of look at them like, I see you. Because like I said, they spend a whole lot of time reading body language. And that's how they know who to choose as their victims. That's how they know what move to make next. Because a lot of times when people are in the midst of trauma, they don't say anything. But their body and their energy and their facial expressions say a whole lot. Verbal communication is the lowest form of communication, and the narcissist masters body language and facial expressions. So be aware of your facial expressions when you're speaking to a narcissist. And if you want to chop them down, look at them like you see them. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and spiritual journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're really feeling my vibe, hit the bell notification so that you know the next time I upload. We'll see you next time.